It's that time. It's Weather for Weather Geeks time here on Tuesday, the 13th day of March 2018. It was 25 years ago today that the Youngstown area picked up about 15 inches of snow from the superstorm of 1993, but amounts got a lot heavier not far to our south and east. Pittsburgh had close to 2 feet. 2 to 3 feet amounts were common in that storm 25 years ago out in central PA. We talked about it a little bit last night on Weather for Weather Geeks. Today is the day that we had the most snow from that storm, although it technically began on the 12th for our local area. That was 25 years ago. You know, I mentioned this last night. That's one of those storms that influence the future careers of a lot of meteorologists. A lot of meteorologists can point to a weather event as their kind of starting point for being really interested in the weather, and that was one of those storms that for people of the right age really got them into the weather, and it was one of the formative events, I think, for me. I was 15 during the superstorm of 1993, and I remember watching it very carefully and being really interested in it, watching the Weather Channel with my grandmother all day. She was really into the weather as well, and that's one of my most distinct weather memories from my younger years. All right, back here in the present tense. Today was, of course, a snow shower, snow squall kind of day where conditions were very, very changeable. This time lapse in Niles takes us from about 9 o'clock this morning through mid-afternoon. Whoosh! There's the snow showers and squalls, and then the snow melts off the grass. The snow never really stuck to the roads in most circumstances. Under some of the heaviest squalls, you know, we probably did have some somewhat minor accumulations, but it was one of those deals today that the visibility was much more of an issue than any snow sticking. We had that big pile up on I-80 in the Austintown area early this afternoon, and that was a visibility problem. I wasn't there, but I suspect there wasn't much snow actually on the road. It was more of a problem of the visibility going to zero almost instantly. I'm going to show you the radar in just a second, but look at these early evening or mid-evening road surface temperatures still well above freezing. So, you know, the March sun really does a number on things at this time of the year. It really has to snow really hard for snow to stick on the pavement in March, even if temperatures are below freezing. We just barely snuck above freezing this afternoon. My radar loop doesn't want to load. Let's give this a second and see if it comes in. I wanted to show you the midday radar, and it was working a minute ago, but now it seems like it doesn't want to. Let me try to load it up again. Let's see if I can get it to work. It doesn't look like it wants to. But anyway, we had the beefiest snow showers around early this afternoon, right around 11:30 to 1 o'clock, 1:30. Once we got into the mid-afternoon, things became much more scattered in nature, but the big problem was right around midday today. That was the most numerous, that's when we had the most numerous squalls around. As we got into the late afternoon and evening, a lot of this was concentrated down towards Route 30, and now as we've gotten into the 7 o'clock hour, still a few snow showers out there. Even an embedded squall is moving through the Ohio-PA border when I recorded this at about 7:19 this evening. New Wilmington getting in on it, also a heavier snow shower and squall back towards Newton Falls, kind of between the Turnpike and I-76. So that's what the radar looked like at around 7:19 locally. When we zoom out and take a look at a regional view here, and again, my radar doesn't want to go back as far as I wanted it to. That's irritating. But this kind of pattern will continue for a while this evening. I'm expecting a little lull for a lot of the overnight as some drier air works into central and eastern Lake Erie. I think that's going to lead to a reduction in the amount of snow showers and squalls overnight tonight before things ramp up again during the course of the day tomorrow. Here's our big nor'easter. It is doing its thing. This was truly a blizzard where the blizzard warnings were out for parts of eastern Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Boston area got slammed today, Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket. And what a satellite presentation today from this storm, showing things just explosively developing as this thing wrapped up. Their third big nor'easter in a little less than 2 weeks, I believe. Just amazing up there. Thankfully, we didn't have anything like that to contend with around here today. As we go into your Wednesday, here's the hour-by-hour snow chances. I think the most active period on Wednesday will be in the morning hours on Wednesday. I think we'll see a reduction in activity in the afternoon, but after a lull later this evening into the overnight, things will ramp up again tomorrow morning before, again, ramping back down as we get into the afternoon. Now, today everyone was kind of in the same boat. Tomorrow's a little more of a true lake-enhanced lake effect kind of a setup where we're going to see the most numerous snow showers, I think, from Geauga County to Ashtabula County to Crawford to Erie County, and some of this is going to sneak down towards Route 87 and over into northern Mercer County. Once you get south of I-80, I'm expecting a less active day overall than we had today. You're still going to see some scattered flurries around, but not expecting as much activity in places such as North Lima and Lisbon and Hanoverton and even Columbiana and heading over towards Salem. I don't think it'll be as active tomorrow as it was today. Everyone gets in on another break in the action then for Wednesday evening into parts of Wednesday night before we see another uptick on Thursday, thanks to another Arctic front dropping in. This front has a fresh batch of really cold air for this time of the year coming behind it, so we'll see some scattered flurries into Thursday afternoon, into Thursday night, probably into parts of Friday. And Friday, we're going to have a hard time getting above 28 or 29 degrees. Probably actually the coldest day of this whole stretch is coming up on Friday. I mean, that's 15 below average for this time of the year. That's a pretty big departure from average. Now, over the next couple of days, the accumulations are going to be pretty modest. We've been talking about this week, that the actual accumulation numbers won't be the big story here. And when we talk about the lake effect, lake enhanced kind of situation we'll get ourselves into Wednesday into Thursday, we're talking about the usual suspects having the highest chances of a couple of inches or more from eastern Geauga County through Ashtabula over towards Meadville, Erie, and then up into southwestern New York. And then in our viewing area, the farther north and east you go, the higher the chances are of seeing a couple of inches of snow Wednesday into Thursday from Mecca and Kinsman and over towards Greenville, New Lebanon, maybe as far south as Grove City. This is the zone that you could see a couple of inches. It's not going to all come at once. We'll get nickeled and dimed a little bit. And then, aside from the occasional coating on the grass, once you're down into Mahoning and Columbiana, really not expecting much in the way of accumulation over the next couple of days. We are going to turn things around in time for the weekend. Now, the warm-up is not going to be as impressive as it looked like it would be a few days ago, but it is a warm-up, and it's coming for St. Patty's Day on Saturday. We're going to clear things out Saturday. This is the latest GFS. I'm not really buying how far north it tries to bring some moisture here on Saturday. I think this is probably bogus. It's not really supported by any other modeling. I would expect a fair amount of sunshine at this point on Saturday. We'll get into the lower 40s Saturday, closer to average anyway. Sunday's the best day of the weekend. The GFS here, along with the other modeling, showing a clear day on Sunday. We'll sniff 50 Sunday afternoon. That's as close to 50 as we're going to get for a while. Early next week, a fair amount of sunshine to kick off Monday as well. And, I showed you kind of a similar loop last night. Not much has changed in the modeling today. Here's our brief weekend warm-up. Notice the oranges trying to sneak in for the weekend while New England's still in the freezer and it's cold in the West Coast. But then beyond that, the cold that pushes into the West is just going to ooze east. Next week looks cold. I mean, a week from now, I have 33 in the forecast, and that's on the 20th day of March. It's almost to astronomical spring, and we're still talking about chances for snow next week and very cold temperatures for this time of the year, and don't see much relief beyond that. The cold anomalies here shown on just about all the modeling. I'm showing you the European model here, but just about all the modeling has a pretty consistent cold signal now through the end of the month. My March forecast is going to go down in flames. That makes 2 months in a row where our monthly forecasts weren't great. We called for a cold February, which was right for a while, and then ridiculously warm at the end of February kind of ruined that. March, we thought things would turn around in the second half of the month. No. It's staying chilly, kind of the opposite of what happened in February. So we human forecasters, along with the computer modeling, have really been struggling over the last 6 weeks or so with the blocked up pattern in the northern hemisphere. The models are having a hard time resolving where the blocking is, what's going on in the North Pole, and leading us astray with the longer range forecasts. So that being said, there's a pretty good agreement right now that the rest of March is going to be chilly. I don't think we'll be in for a warm surprise in the second half of March like we had in the second half of February. Thanks for watching tonight's Weather for Weather Geeks. I'll see you back here tomorrow evening, and check out my full forecast tonight on 21 News at 11. Have a good Tuesday night.